Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Mic check, mic check. How's everyone doing? Welcome in. Well, that opening bell almost snuck up on me this morning. I get ready for the day up here at new all-time highs again. Here we are. Edgeful Wolf Trading. I'm Ryan, or Imp Maximiliano, as a lot of you know me. Microsoft OpenAI partnership news right there about 30 minutes before the open. What is up though? How's everyone doing? Look at InQ just absolutely running. I am watching 6,900 on SPX, about 8 points higher for kind of the next pivot area, a whole number. But I mean, what do you say about this? I mean, the thing just keeps flying higher and higher. I'm like running out of levels at this point. But either way, what's up, everyone? G Will, good morning. What's up, Honor? I see Kevin sliding in here. Colin. Hey, so this actually a really good subject. I don't know how to trade all-time highs. I feel you on this. It took me a while to learn how to trade all-time highs. Last year, probably last summer, was probably the first time that I really like sat down and thought about it instead of just trying to trade the same all the time. All-time highs I trade much differently. I take less trades and I try to be more tactical with it, less size. I don't know how to describe it. I just do things much different. We'll talk through it a little bit. What's up, Faye? KB. We'll see how this morning looks. I need to get this sent out here. Microsoft was that big story a while ago. It is trying to give it back a little bit. Where is Microsoft on this daily chart? I got a new chair yesterday, guys. Finally. Hold on. I want to see where this gap fills out real fast. Where we end up opening. The gap's small enough that it should fill. We can definitely play this gap fill, previous day high and gap fill both as a target here. I could do a little starter short probably. What's this previous day's high at? This would be the two targets if you get short. All right, so yeah, we can definitely try to play this. There's a couple statistics here we can take a look at, but previous day's high should get touched, and then the gap fill is going to be down here. Yeah, right there. So QQQ should touch this box right here. Here, let's draw it out. Let's draw it like that right there. QQQ should touch this box today, just based on probabilities. I'm looking for some confluence here, but I really want to get really want to start working into a short, maybe a little starter here. KB already started. Yeah, I could take a little bit of a starter here, small. I just wonder if we don't drive one more time, but I go ahead and get a starter. But what, 75 points that we can look for here? Maybe we can add a little bit higher. Yeah, so I love the call out on Nebius here. We'll have to be very attentive. I'll try to be very attentive to that. So the NVIDIA conference. The NVIDIA conference is, I believe, at noon is the keynote with Jensen. I did want to look at this Microsoft. Interesting. Okay. Anything else really like flying on that news? Just NVIDIA did a little bit. Apple's red. Google, Costco. I'm not gonna add just yet until it starts rejecting. I'm gonna wait a second here. Yeah, I don't really see anything else just crazy. Now UNH, yeah, what do you say about UNH at this point? All right, that's the box we're looking for. Gold down another 2%. Wow. Um, UNH. Wow, UNH filled the gap and just gave it all back. All right, I'm gonna start adding in a little bit up here. Wow, UNH, that is crazy. What's up, Bitcoin? I'm gonna tweet this out. I mean, I may have to wait for this up here. I hope not. Oh yeah, just trying to get settled in here just a bit. All right. I'm short just 'cause I'm looking for that gap fill. The ES is so different. All right. Sorry, guys, getting everything set up. Boy, that's Amcor. Stock Talk said yesterday he wanted to buy more down here. So for what it's worth, if you've dug into his research, he's still very convicted and bullish on that name. But UNH, golly, UNH. How many sellers were waiting at 380? That's actually surprising. I thought it would at least hit 390. Wow. All right. My average is at 67 on this short. Look at our previous session high, previous day's close. That's the gap fill box that I drew earlier. And all right, I was making sure. Wait, can everybody hear me okay? Just making sure my microphone's coming through all right. We're all good this morning on the stream. The stream's going to Wolf Trading as well now. So instead of Wolf Financial, it's going to Wolf Trading. And it's let's see. It's Wolf Trading, it's Edgeful, and it's Edgeful's X. All right, cool. Appreciate it, guys. And I got the latency turned up pretty high, so there should be a very low delay. The lag should be very, very short. But if you're on YouTube, if you're on X, it's a little bit longer. But here we go. Now we're playing out the short. Here we go. Come on, 30 points. Let's probably take a trim at the 20 area if you want. ES already did it. SPY is gonna fill the gap right here. We could get a little bounce on that. So if you took an ES trade or SPY, either one, that was your main target. QQQ still right here. Getting bought up off that 21 and that SPX gap fill. So gap up above previous day's range 57% of the time. You come back down and touch it. And then let's see what the actual gap fill. So about 50-50 to fill that gap with the current stats. So that's my that's where the statistics are. SPY's already done it, so we can add that as confluence. The other thing we can add as confluence is we've been in this, we've left 2 gaps in a row. I don't have like a statistic on that, but to trend up basically 3 days and gap up and leave gaps 2 days in a row is pretty rare. It's just more from experience than anything. So that's why I'm looking at trying to play this with a little bit more conviction today. Plus, we also have tomorrow we have FOMC. We have 3 of the Mag 7 and more. Let me just pull up the earnings calendar. There you go. Microsoft, Meta, Google. And then you also have, let me get back to the short over here. How many points is this going to be if I trim? Call it 47 points. All right. Sorry, when the market gets going here early in the morning, I got a lot of things going on. So my thought process that I was going through right there, I think we just see maybe some profit taking, de-risking ahead of all the binary events tomorrow. With all those big earnings with Jerome Powell, FOMC, and then tomorrow night going into Thursday morning, we have President Trump meeting with President Xi of China. So it's Thursday. It's happening Thursday, but it's Thursday over there. So you got to move the time zones ahead. It's really Wednesday night for us. What happened to UNH? I don't know. I mean, UNH had earnings. I didn't really dive into it, but I mean, they gapped up on earnings. So you have a 4% gap up on UNH that gave all the way back. That's interesting. I don't know if it was conference call, what they said, what they're doing, but I am taking a de-risk trim right here. It's going to be about 47 points. What happened to SoFi? I didn't look at SoFi either. Guys, the daggum Dodgers and Blue Jays kept me up too late last night. Oh, SoFi just gapping crap too. Come on, give me 26,020, 47-point gain. A resting order there for trim. Try to VWAP as well. We are kind of holding the gap fill on SPX and SPY right there. But I want that to continue. I want that to I want this gap to come fill. This is NDX. The same box I drew on it in Q and QQQ is this right here. So you can obviously see this gap right here, right? So I'm looking to get into this box right here. KB always on top of the data. What data do we have in a few minutes? Richmond Fed. Okay. All right, let's get this 47-point gain here. Come on, give me 10 more points. Let's lock it in. One more. What is X? IndieX, that's the NASDAQ. So like, if you know what SPX is the actual S&P index, right? SPY is an ETF based off of that. ES is the futures based off of SPX. IndieX is the NASDAQ. It's the NASDAQ 100. InQ is the future based off of IndieX, okay? Then you have, what's it called? QQQ is like the ETF. And of course, there's other versions and stuff as well. But IndieX is like the actual thing everything's based off of. Come on, we need a rejection right here. Oh, what a candle. There's some news involved in this candle? What was that? Well, that changes the scheme of things a little bit. I was worried that that SPX gap fill may get a positive reaction, but I didn't expect it to go that far. But what is pushing us so hard? Netflix is pushing really hard. I don't see any like particular thing that's really flying on that. All right, we'll just stay in it then. I'm not gonna add. I don't need more risk on a trade like this right now. Yeah, Netflix is moving. Outer, yeah, you absolutely can. So I mean, QQQ is basically just a derivative of the same thing. Honestly, I think charting QQQ is as important as charting anything else. So like, if you chart NQ without ever looking at QQQ or NDX, either one, I feel like you're trading blind. Or like if you only look at ES, but you don't ever look at SPY or SPX, I think NDX is more important than QQQ. But a lot of people, the volume, a lot of the liquidity is on QQQ. So I look at QQQ, I look at NDX a ton, and then I go over to NQ and line things up. And then obviously, I look at certain things on NQ as well, but is that new all-time high on SoFi? Yeah, it was. Well, SoFi opening up new all-time high. What's gold doing? Gold getting a little bounce. Little bounce on the gold. I mean, when you're down that much, and gold was what, down over 5% in the last two sessions, or from yesterday into today only. I don't know what that was, KB. We get the next set of data right now, though. So spinning. -4, the consensus was -11. That's what I'm hearing. I just filled 144 lots. CB consumer confidence just came out, which isn't even on this list right here. All right, well, the data's out. The orb is set. We are under previous session high on ES. So now the question is, Google's drilling new lows ahead of earnings tomorrow. I'm really looking for some de-risking going into earnings tomorrow. Amazon's pushing up, actually. AMD's pretty strong. Palantir decently strong. Nvidia's not doing anything. Broadcom is strong. Microsoft's not really doing anything because, I mean, you gap up that big, a lot of times you just get real choppy. All right, still sitting in the short. It's not like crazy strong odds on this. Ooh, Pan W made another new high. So what I'm trading for is the gap fill. So the easiest way to look at it's in DX. So we have two unfilled gaps below us, and to do another one, I think is a low probability. But what I do have probabilities on is when you open above the previous day's high. So here's previous day's high. We opened up here. Making your way back to here is more times than not, like almost 60%. Even in this crazy bull market, it's been a little bit less, but still 60%. And then the gap fill itself is about a 50-50 shot. So that's what I'm playing for, honestly. I don't have like super high odds on this, but that's it's better than average, I guess. It's better than 50-50. And then I add in some confluence and stuff. Most of the confluence being this move right here has been just straight up, and we have a lot of binary events going tomorrow. So my thesis is that we see some profit taking this morning, and at least try to reset down into here somewhere. But doesn't have to happen. I mean, this could push up first. I mean, it could happen a lot of ways. But like right now, I have ES pretty bearish. I have IWM bouncing pretty hard actually. And tech much stronger. Yeah, I was hoping the gap fill happened first, or we just immediately pushed at the open to get there, KB, and we haven't really done either one. It's kind of going opposite of what I wanted it to set up as, but it's all right. We'll deal with it. SPX could go to the 6900 is kind of the next magnet. I mean, we almost got there really at the open. Pretty close. Within one strike on the options, so pretty close. But I would not be surprised to see this do something like this. I hope it doesn't, but the other thing is we don't even have this we don't really have a back test of the 26K on the futures that happened. AMD getting a big pop here. Is this new all-time highs? Lisa Sue talking earlier. The NVIDIA, just be aware the NVIDIA is noon Eastern over in Washington, D.C. Jensen Huang keynote getting that started. And then there's a ton of companies like Nebius was mentioned earlier. There's a ton of companies that are participating in that are looking for positive news, catalysts, whatever. So if you're trading any of those kind of NVIDIA connected names, make sure you've got some type of news squawker going on or you're paying attention. Those news pops could get sold pretty quickly, but they could be violent. So be ready for that. I'm hoping this just chops lower, KB. That's what I'm really hoping. Typical chop. Jackson, I just scrolled up, saw your comment here. The game was disappointing. I was pulling for the Dodgers, honestly, which I don't know how I ended up pulling for the Dodgers. I'm not a big Blue Jays fan. Just there's some. This team is more likable than past teams have been. I'll be fair on that, but I can't cheer for the Blue Jays. It's just I don't know. Joey Batista, Joey Bats left a bad taste in my mouth a few years back. Good players, didn't like him. But when Odor punched him in the mouth down there in Texas, this was great. That was fantastic. But I respect it. All right. I saw Brett slide in here a little bit earlier. Miguel. ¿Qué onda, compa? How's everyone doing, though? You guys trading anything? Looking at anything? Because they're Canadian, eh? Sorry. Sorey. Sorry. Sorry, Canadians. Ah, it's actually insane how many Canadian friends I've made through trading and social media and stuff. Canadians are great. The people, at least. All right. Still in that gold long. Hey, to be honest, I don't just love this NQ short that I'm sitting in here, but it's not really invalidating. I've set my risk, so see what happens. Gold probably has a similar statistic to come back to previous day's low. Honestly, there's probably a solid statistic on that. Let's see if we can look at that real fast. I'm actually curious. We go to NQ first, so I can get there faster this way. Outside days and GC. All right, so really it's actually not super likely, 54%, so it's just under 50-50, but more times than not on the bearish side, you don't reverse on gold. That's kind of interesting. I would have thought it would have been stronger. That doesn't mean it can't happen, but it's just saying there's not like a real edge there. 44% of the time you make it back to here. That gap is actually decently sized too, isn't it? Yeah, that's a huge gap down on gold. So I'm assuming that those stats aren't great either. I've never looked at gap fill stats on gold. Okay, gaps do not fill very often on gold. That's interesting. And then if we go by size, I'm assuming this is going to be like very little data. How big is this gap? 1.47. It's actually in this category. 86% chance that you're not filling that gap. But it's only happened, what, 7 times. But you only have seven data points over the last 6 months of a gap down of this big, between 1 and 1.5%. Little statistics with us here. Yeah, I hope nobody's crazy in the short, because this is more of like just a directional stay light type of short for me. I mean, at this point, just at least give me previous day high on NQ. Okay, couldn't. Qualcomm. All right, little inside day, consolidating above. Yeah, Qualcomm needs to just consolidate above this, and it's fine. I exited Qualcomm, but I'm looking to re-enter at some point. I still think it has a nice move to come. The CEO's on CNBC right now is why I brought that up. All right. Nvidia, the 5 minute looks a little interesting here. Like it's holding this, but it's trying to like, start to roll a little bit. And you look at this on a 5 minute. And Tesla that highs, wow, new highs. Took out yesterday's high. Meta coming down. Meta's been weird during the day lately. It's the one that keeps kind of like fall. I mean, you see these like Meta during the day lately, it just keeps falling. Like it kind of like gaps up and falls a lot. But it's getting close to filling its gap. Google, a little bounce off the lows, but still relatively weak. Broadcom new high. Amazon kind of the same little thing here. Maybe a little de-risking ahead of earnings. Apple's fine. You got all these bottom wicks here on Apple. Trying to get back green on the day. I don't know. The 5 minute price action on NQ looks like it wants to go higher. Hems looks so bad to me. We didn't quite get to the 200-day the other day, right here. Oh, wrong button. Right here, we didn't quite touch the 200-day the other day. The last time we touched it, obviously, we had a nice reaction. But this coming straight through all of the moving averages. So, like, here's what I talk about. This came straight through every moving average without even respecting much of anything. And the next day, we had just like consolidation here and then rejection of it, push down. This 47 level is a big level if you look to the left. So reject, like break through it, reject it, come down, bounce off the level, and come reject it again. I think Kim's is probably coming down to here. And it needs a narrative change. It needs some help. But it does have, like, on the bigger picture, I mean, you can still see higher lows so far. Even if you got down here, you probably, from 46 to 45, you probably have decent risk reward to try it there. Yeah, this is looking a little bit too good to the upside right now. This is gross over here, though. Yes. Yes, pretty gross. NVIDIA's still hanging in there. Microsoft's not going to do probably much of anything today. Amazon just made a new low. Meta still looks rough. I don't hate the long, like if you longed ES off of the gap fill, I don't hate that long at all. If you longed right here, especially on ES, or if you longed like in here, like 10, 9, 10, risking that low, I don't hate it. Once you get this so far, this is bearish first hour so far. I mean, we still got 15 minutes left, but you have a bearish first hour and you have a bearish IB that's probably gonna need to break the low. So that's the only thing I would say about ES. And then NQ, like I was saying earlier, my target is down here. I just wonder if it takes like a little bit of time to like, So we'll see. I'm still sitting in it. In the next 15 minutes, we do need to get below here so that we have a bearish first hour to go with an IB. I mean, RTY doesn't look bad, actually. I was just looking over at it. RTY is not a terrible look here. R2 actually has a gap fill to the upside. That's interesting. Hood looks like it wants to run. Where's Hoodie? I mean, yesterday was such a big day. Remember we talked about Hood on the stream the other day? Somebody was asking, like, they were saying, do I close? We were on the 50-day. I hope they didn't close. Look at this bounce off the 50-day moving average. We came down hard and quick on a very hot stock into the 50-day moving average. I mean, like I said at worst case, you should get some type of bounce, like a relief bounce like this at worst case. And then look at these like continued gap ups since then. I mean, just from that, off of that low, it was like 23% move. That's crazy. They're still buying underneath this thing. This is what I don't like right now is all these bottom wicks on this 5-minute. ES not really doing anything. Stuck under the EMAs and VWAP, right above previous day's high, and the gap's been filled. So I need like a full body candle to close down here on NQ to start feeling better about it, but oh well, about it. Come on down. Oh, that's right, Andre. I forgot to put this on. So this gap fill, this new gap fill that I'm just playing with for the first time, 0% shows where the gap's open. Here's half gap, and 100% would be the gap fill. I haven't like played with this a whole lot just yet, but Andre just told me about this yesterday. But gap fill 2.0. I'm gonna play with that a little bit more throughout the day and throughout the rest of this week. Oh, Lou TV, you got your little short on QQQ. Well, we got to get through this EMA 21. We can get through these dang EMAs. We can finally get at least the previous day's high. I mean, at minimum, we should touch previous day's high at some point today. There you go, Tom. Is that your hedge? Long one, short. Really, it'd be the other way. I feel like I feel like you would shorty ass long in Q. You could do it either way, I guess, but Tesla new high. Yep, that's right. Robin. Tesla making a nice move. Friday, this. So Thursday, big move up, retrace on Friday. We talked about potentially buying this on Friday or yesterday, whenever you broke back above here. Could have bought there, or you could have bought this back test, but this is a nice move. Colin, I don't know where Amajam is. I don't know where she's at. She should be on Spaces though. I don't know if she's there. Come on down. So I moved my trim down here to 50 points or whatever. Today could get really choppy like this. That's why I got in my trade, set my risk, and just, I'm not trying to like overtrade it. I'm not oversizing to where I get stopped out, have to get back in, get stopped out, get back in. But yeah, Tesla just made that new high. Already long ES, hedge short in Q. Well, the news wires went real quiet. Still holding the uptrend. Tesla's Investor Day. I think it's the 6th or the 8th. November 6th. Yeah, next Thursday. Next Thursday. But I need somebody to just come in and just hammer this thing. Tesla strong. All right, IWM's right at that 250. Didn't fill the gap just yet, but it's right at the 250. Getting a little bit of an upper wick. Let's bring this thing down. Honestly, it might be prudent to trim VWAP here. How many points would that be? 28 or 38? There we go. Come on, come on. Flush, flush, flush. Now we're looking much better. Call Frank. Frankie. Oh, Frankie. Oh, my coffee is gonna go cold sitting here watching this one trade. Nice trade, Brett. Nice trade. Oh, yep, 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 yep. Good exit spot too, or at least a big trim spot on gold. I like that. You see the spots right here, right where we're at. Support could turn into resistance. I don't hate that, at least for trim, right? Just looking at that, eyeballing it, at least for trim, that's a good trim spot. We're about to get the first hour. Well, we got a minute to close below right here, right where we're at. First hour is going to be bearish, basically, unless something crazy happens in 50 seconds. It's going to be bearish on ES. This one's really close to being bearish. High formed first, low formed second. So we have IB by rejection set up to break this. IB by rejection, whichever side the IB forms first, you look to go to the other side. So here's the high forming first, here's the low forming second. So we look to break the low. And then here's the opening print. You close the first hour under the opening print that's bearish. You look for this. Now, we've already taken out previous day's highs. So it's like here's your target box, basically. Here to here. Hood is 10 minutes away from breaking out. All right, we got the first hour. First hour is bearish. IB is bearish on ES and Q both. So if you're trading ES, I would look to short against this area. Here's the midpoint right here, 17, and you look for a new low of day. We look for this to break right here. I really think I need to trim. At view up. I'm gonna have to take a trim here. Can we just get some more data? Dallas Fed. Those aren't great numbers on Dallas Fed. All right, come on, take it out. There's the IB breaking. Well, I want this 50-point gain down here. Not a bad spot if you want to trim right there at that VWAP for 30 plus point win. So what I'm actually going to do here is this. Take a little trim here, or get ready to take a trim here, and go ahead and move my stop down because I don't want this to just fly back for no reason. But we should get a little bit lower. Like I said, thesis is previous day's high. So looking for previous day's high right here, looking for previous session high, which is RTH high of yesterday, New York session high of yesterday, main target right here. Look at that. That all lines up with a lot of stuff. So come on, shoot it down another 10 points. ES should go break. And the video's rolled over. Come on, pull it in, baby. Guys, I got a new chair yesterday. I blew out my well, long story. If any of you remember me talking about my old chair. During a Boeing trade like almost 2 years ago, I blew a wheel off of my chair. And so I only had one wheel for a while, and then because I only had one wheel, or I only had four out of the five, and because I had one wheel missing, eventually I broke another because of the pressure. So then my base was sitting on the floor probably for the last year, just because I'm cheap. But I liked the chair, and then last night my base just snapped in half, and I've actually fell on my back. So I went and bought a chair at Office Depot. I didn't get anything fancy, Colin. I've heard about these fancy chairs, everything. I just went to Office Depot, set in about 10 of them, and decided which one I liked the best. I was actually tempted to buy the same chair back because I know I like that chair, but I just got one similar or whatever. I don't care. I did fall flat on my back though last night. Like right before I was like getting ready to like close up shop for the day. I leaned back and just whoa, like the base snapped. So like what was holding up the base there just pulled out. Yeah, I think this one was about 170 bucks or something like that. 150 maybe. No, 100. It was like 170, 180, somewhere in there. Now that we broke this, you have to watch this. I don't want us to come back above 60s. I don't know what chair Rizzo has. It's not the chair that needs WD-40, dude. It was the it's his door. Dude, every time he used to get up and like I think he has a better mic now or he mutes better now or whatever, but yes, every time he would get up, he'd go like grab food, grab a drink of water or something. Every time he would like move his door and it would just like squeak. I am gonna just probably take a small little de-risk trim here soon. I don't know. I kind of want to just wait a second, see if maybe we play out just a little bit lower, get that first target I want. But I would hate to get nothing out of this trade at this point. Yeah, I spent about 7 points on NQ on this chair. So ES is a tough one. So the first hour of the first hour, so the IB has been set. What I'm looking at here is the first hour of the market. Keep pushing the wrong button. First hour of the market here and here. The high formed first, the low formed second. So the statistics say you're more likely to break the low. You also you've also already filled this gap though. Your first hour of price action was bearish, so you should close under the opening. but you've broke previous day's high, so you should close above here. So ES is like major box. Like really, ES should close within basically this range somewhere today. Heard a headline, but it was something around Democratic senators opposing something. So, but the ES short's tough because you've already filled the gap. Yeah, you've already filled the gap. You broke previous day's high. I mean, if I look at SPY or let me look at SPX. Yeah, SPX you probably close within this range right here. And crazier things can happen just from a probability standpoint. This looks like a bear flag. Where's SPY? This looks bear flaggy. Doesn't have to be, but kind of breaking out of it right now. If this candle rejects here, is this kind of like the pre-market area of rejection? I don't know. The thing I have to remember is previous day's high, previous day's RTH high. Those things should touch. So we're staying in it. Staying in it, no trims yet. You know, I'm not a big bear flag guy. It's just price action. Come on, give me a big candle down here. That's a nice upper wick rejection. Here we go. Meta's drilling new low. That's what I needed. But bear flag, it's basically, I'll draw it out here in just a second, kind of explain why people pay attention to it. Come on, finish the move. We got under VWAP. Come on, ES, get back under. This will just shoot down. It's going to be a good day. There we go. Come on, a little bit more. Basically 50-point gain right there. I'll take 50 points. I'll take 50 points. Resting order, 17. Come on, push down. Miguel, I got you, brother. Give me just a second. Let me try to get this trim and this alert off here. Right here, I need 17. I have a resting order here. Yeah, Dom, I got you too. So I see Dom in the chat. So some of you guys are in the X chat, some of you guys are in YouTube chat. I can see them all. I can put them all on screen. I know some of you guys can only see each other if you're in the same chat. There it is right there. 50-point gain. Boom. All right. All right, I got that trim there. You see previous day's high. This is previous day's high because it's where we pushed like in after hours. To me, it's not that significant of a level, but I needed a good place to lock in some profit here. So it took a nice little trim there, 50 points. The IB has played out bearish, which is going to be good for the direction we're trading for the rest of the day. We need this one to play out. So we need ES to break down here, 69.06, hopefully. It would almost make sense to come to 6,900, the whole number, which would be a really nice move down, and it would help my NQ short. Come on, let's go fill the gap. All right, guys, no other real news or anything's going on. I mentioned Meta there a few seconds ago. So, like, when I'm looking around for Confluence, I need to see some of these big names weak. Meta wicking into the gap right here. Let me go to 15-minute. Nope, not 10. 15. There we go. Meta under. So it filled the gap here from yesterday, but it's like wicking into this big gap. Doesn't mean it has to go fill it, but it is like starting to test those waters a little bit. So Meta reporting tomorrow as well, Microsoft, Google. I just wonder, do you start, Meta's been doing this lately a lot anyway, but do you start to get some profit taking, de-risking ahead of all those earnings tomorrow? Google, do you start to get some more profit taking, de-risking ahead of tomorrow? Microsoft, so like the three that are reporting tomorrow, Meta and Google both weak, both red. Look at this. Market is still green. Google's down 0.8%. Meta's down 0.6%. Microsoft, this one's going to be unique because you had news this morning. But do we start locking in some profits on that one too? I don't know. See if we can get to our next target. We get here previous session high, 981. I'm going to take it at 982 or so. It's 85 point gain. PayPal did have big news today, right? I can't wrap my head around the news. I need to dive in a little bit deeper. Big move on PayPal. Look at this explosive move. It's been struggling. This 200-day has been tough. And look, it tried to get above it here, crashed back through it. But all this consolidation right here under the 200-day, and you finally get good news, good earnings. I hope it holds on to this because, boy, PayPal for a long time has just been gross. I mean, raging bull market, PayPal still way down here. You could have bought PayPal 3 years ago, and it's still in the same price. That's kind of crazy. But it's great to see PayPal trying to do something. I mean, I use PayPal a lot. I really do. I like PayPal, but I just don't understand what the big problem is. They just can't. Yeah, it's like dead money. It's absolutely right. I can't understand why PayPal doesn't execute better or something. Um, but like, what was the news was they were doing something with ChatGPT, like integrated to be like its payment wallet or something like that. I don't know. I need to think about how that makes a whole lot of sense though, because it's like I keep thinking about ChatGPT and AI and stuff. I'm like, do I want my money in there controlled by all of that? I mean, what if I do something wrong? What if it does something weird? I don't know. Look at this bounce though. That's why you take trims. Honestly, stop probably right above here, right above the midpoint. Their fees are pretty wild. Is that all it is? Use the PayPal to renew your ChatGPT subscription. I mean, I feel like you send money or this or that. I mean, if that's all it is, this is it's going to be a nothing burger on the news. Now, if it's actually somehow like ChatGPT is able to help you send your payments, like pay your bill, stuff like that, that kind of integration, that actually interests me a lot. That's that would be really interesting actually, if you think about it. ChatGPT, like you can interact with ChatGPT and be like, "Hey, ChatGPT, how much do I owe for my utility bills this month?" And then it can go in, it pull them all up, and it can go in and pay them using your PayPal. Pay your light bill, your water bill, your gas bill, whatever, internet, cell phone, stuff like that. That would actually be kind of cool. But we still haven't got down there. Now, when you break the IB, a lot of times you do retrace back to this 25% level. That could be all you get, but on QQQ, we should close under the 630.35. On NQ, we should close under 51. ES, we have not taken either side of the IB yet. This should come down here. Like you could probably add here and play this to 26,000, the whole number. You need that to reject and follow through, though. ES is hanging in here pretty strong. IWM as well. Look at IWM. Even though it's red, it's like completely opposite of the market. IWM looks like it wants to come up here and fill this gap real fast. Honestly, that would be the rejection spot too. Yeah. Yeah, 5 minute 9, 5 minute 21, both right there. This is interesting. I mean, to me, this looks like very choppy. You see how small these candles are, how slow these candles are, and you see wicks all over the place. Candle bodies kind of hanging out in the same spot, but just wicking all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised to see VIX come up here. That would kind of make sense as well. My pivot point for NDX is much lower, but oh, R1 is right there. 25,888. Okay, interesting. That's kind of what I thought, Colin. Like, kind of scares me. I wonder if this shoots back up to the 50s. Kind of want to lock in my money and call it, but or at least lock in some more. I just feel like this could get really, really wonky. Or just trust the trade, you know? As bullish as the market is, it's tough to just sit. Yeah, R1. Yeah, I saw what you meant, KB, once I pulled it up. It's just so tough. As bullish as this market has been, like sitting in a short for any amount of time just starts to make it just makes you feel nervous. But my layers of confluence are that ES still has not broken the low of the first hour. ES hasn't taken this yet. NQ took the first hour out, but this is like your retrace rejection. And still, like, it could take all day, but at some point, I think we track our way down to here. Let's see. Meta, big bounce off of the, it's coming back into the EMAs here, but big bounce off of that, kind of dipping into that gap, kind of drawing liquidity, I guess some traders would say. Oh yeah, energy's been pushing up. That's CCCX. This mentioned by, or there's something. This is CCCX is a D-SPAC, but a lot of people were talking about and trading this name. The reason I'm bringing this up is because there's a headline right now that there's speculation of comments of an inflection point. Nvidia, Jensen Huang, and this company, they're going to do quantum, CCCX. So you need this to reject right here. Otherwise, you gotta live with it coming all the way back up here. Raj, I've been in NEE for a long time. Next era. I've done that one for a long time now. It had good news yesterday, but it's getting sold off pretty hard today with bearish engulfing. $25-year deal with Google to supply power for the nuclear plant. So I'm looking for Forbes. Could be a very slow moving day though. So if you are a bear flag person, here's your kind of bear flag back test kind of breakdown type of look. I guess it's So you have price that moves down, and then tracks its way back up, but it tracks its way back up in like a tightening pattern. That's kind of the idea of a bear flag. So when you have price move like this and then bounce, kind of relief bounce, you see how this like price action is right here? It's kind of got a trend here and it's kind of got a trend here. And then if it breaks one side, and really it could be more like this. Yeah, so this one's just not a clean one. So there's not like a whole lot of clean here, but you do have this price getting tighter. So move is down, bounce. So you look for this type of move. And that goes with the statistics, right? So what I keep talking about, oh, got a little update here. Log back in. Find your daily bias. All right, let me go to ES. What I'm talking about, IB by rejection. This already played out on NQ. I formed first break being the low, 62% chance. So what we're looking at on ES, when the first hour, the high forms first, the low forms second, 62% chance that you take the low. And then overall, just the standard report. Andre, just DM me, bro. How do I make the... There we go. So what I'm looking at here, ES, SPY, whatever, SPX, it's all kind of the same, right? See this right here, no break. So not breaking either side of the first hour, not taking out either side of this happens 1.5% of the time. So over 98% of the time, you either break here or you break here. And then with the confluence I have is that we have a bearish first hour. So where we open the first hour to where we close the first hour is down. So that's confluence there. And then IB by rejection, 62% of the time when the high is first, the low is second, you take the low. So that's the confluence I have here. I mean, look at this. Double break, it's 28%. At least one side, 70%, but you add those two together. So not breaking either side of that first hour. So if we stayed inside of this all day, that only happens literally less than 2% of all trading days. Now, could that be today? It could be. An LNG. What are you looking at in LNG, KB? Go ahead and play. Let's. I want to see this. It's gonna be more the story, but I'm gonna look at the chart as well. What do you have, Colin? What do you have on Hood? Are you looking for that 150 target? What's you have calls? What are you doing on Hood over there? You're looking for hood to go to 250 in January? Hold on, I just saw this. I was answering another message I just saw. I mean, nothing's changed. So I can sit here comfortably in this position. Nothing has changed. But I do want to hood 250. Hey, that's basically so hood. You think hood's gonna basically double again from here? That well, I mean, crazier things have happened. Yeah, I don't know. Hood's tough for me. I mean, I own hood from like here somewhere, 30s, 40, 37, I think, somewhere in there. Hood's a tough one though. But hey, Colin, manifest it. I mean, my long term would love that. I'm not adding anything into hood at this time. It's just tough, but I'm bullish hood for the near future. It's a company I will continue to own. I don't know if we get some kind of crazy asymmetric like ripper, but I do think it has a chance. I mean, it's outperformed so much. I mean, what is it up over year to date? 281%. That is insane. 187% last 6 months. 426% year over year. That is crazy. Crazy. But yeah, I don't know about. Now, there are re-rating right now because people are tracking how much, and I think that's the reason why Hood made this move, I think was all from this like move right here from like 110, 115 up to 150. I think that move had to do with the prediction markets because people started tracking, seeing how much revenue they're generating off these prediction markets. So yeah, that part's really interesting to me. Look at ES doing nothing. This looks like it wants to come up here. We'll see. What was the what? I don't know what ticker that is, KB. Oh, TGLO, I see it now. Oh, you're looking at OTC. KB, you're getting a little too degen for me on OTC. I mean, I can degen trade right and left, but OTC is a tough one for me to do anything with in my head. But I respect it. I know there's a lot of opportunity there too. Did gold keep moving? Really? So Brent exited like right here. It really hasn't moved since then. It was a good trade by Brent on gold. How's trading going though for you guys? I don't even know what this says. It says they have some like Halloween stuff on here on this restream. Starting to look a little too strong. Energy seems to be cooling off. IWM is pushing. Tesla looking good. Broadcom and Nvidia are kind of rolling over here. Oh, Meta came screaming back off that low. So did Amazon. CCCX now up 7% on the day. Nothing too crazy there. Look at Meta coming off this low. So tap into liquidity, as some traders would call it. That is a big reaction. Big reaction on Meta there. And pretty nice reaction on Amazon. Google, not bad. Broke the IB low, bouncing back to the normal retrace. Inflection being discussed for that CCCX. CCCX. Well, not a whole lot for me to do right here where we're at. I do think this ES trade is still in play. See if you get the pull right here. Yeah, I really think ES is actionable. Short against this, target this. Well, let's engulf this candle here and go down. Like I said, I think you could probably get away with the ad on NQ and look for right here. Like 26K, probably 03 is probably your best spot to trim. Get you an extra 30, 40 points. I don't really want to push the gas though on a potential choppy day. Nice engulfing candle on IWM. I may have to buy some Amcor. And no real confluence on anything here. Other than that ES breaks below 11, it should go down 5 points. It's not a ton if you think about it. Gold, if it does fill that gap, I mean, I think gold, you would look for 85, 86 first. Oil rolled over hard. And those energy names were actually decently strong this morning. It's the XLE pushed in the morning and then pulled back. Bank's not doing a whole lot. NVIDIA turned back around. This little mini trend here needs to break. Death by 1,000. What's going on, King Faces? What do you mean death by sorry, I heard a headline there. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. It sounds like you're oversizing. If you're getting chopped up in this, it sounds like you're oversizing and you're trading in the middle. You're not I mean, even these edges, you're not staying around the edges. InQ is a little bit more wonky. Bloomberg's reporting something about South Korea and AI. I don't think there's any. I would be shocked if they don't cut rates tomorrow. I think the whole market would be shocked if they didn't cut rates tomorrow. Who tagged me? Yeah, there there's such a low chance. What are the actual odds right now? Forbes, I think like 98, 96.7. 96.7%. Yeah, I don't think there's any chance that the rates don't get cut tomorrow. I really don't. I mean, when you say priced in, what is priced in? The rate cut? I mean, they've telegraphed this for the last few months. Like, I don't know. People use the term priced in, and I feel like it can mean multiple things. All right, come on, ES, break it down. We got to take this IB low on ES down here. I don't think they. I don't think there's. The chances of surprise tomorrow with everything going on, I think, is so low. KB, I thought of you last night. That's so funny you say this. I thought of you last night. Um, the Brits are an hour off, though. By the way, they they went back an hour this weekend. Daylight savings time. So let's see. I think it's an hour. Let me think. I'm trying to think. They're an hour later than normal compared to New York for this week. So the London close would be an hour. Should be like 11:30 instead. Well, Bitcoin they already cut last time, and the market didn't care. We were at all-time highs. We bottomed while Powell was speaking when they cut last meeting. (3:23 p.m.) So, Kareem, do you know does the London market is it already closed or does it it closes in an hour instead of right now? Instead of 7 minutes, it's closing in an hour and 7 minutes. If anybody could confirm that, that'd be awesome. I don't know. I'm so ready for our clocks to change. Ah. And you're starting to get the roll look. Like I said, we should take this low. This is taking forever though. This looks like it wants to come back up here, honestly. As long as it stays kind of under that, it's still lower highs trend. Okay, so it is an hour. Perfect. So we still have an hour for the Brits to get out of the way, KB. It's so funny you say that though, KV. Last night I was stayed up watching that stupid baseball game for 18 innings or whatever it was, and I was looking at the clock. I was getting so tired. I was like, these Brits are gonna wake up and watch the end of this game. And I'd be like, Otani and Yakamoto were playing, and yeah, there's a lot of Japanese players on the Dodgers, and it was like 3:30 p.m. in Tokyo. And they were like watching the game still. Like, what, 6-hour game or something crazy? It's so funny. I even tweeted it out last night, and literally, KB, I thought of you. Like, these Brits are waking up and watching the game. There goes the yes. Come on. I'm about to have to trim again just to lock in some more profit because the yes is playing out. I, I don't I don't see what's holding us so strong here though. I guess Amazon and Meta are holding up decently. But they're burning some premium. I'm about to de-risk this position a little bit more here. Because if we shoot down here on ES and get bought up and this stays up here, I don't wanna be a part of like a something like this. And all we get is that, and then I go get stopped out to lock in some profit. Such weird divergence here. We are fighting against VWAP on QQQ though. O5 is holding the market up. This Amcor buy reaction is insane. Nvidia is gonna invest in Nokia. I don't even think is Nokia even traded on our. I don't even know if like if you get short ES, you should be able to get your target here, just based on probabilities, and then it's probably get out. And I looked at NOK, but NOK wasn't moving unless it's 35 billion market cap company, but unless our shares halted, maybe. I mean, I guess if you trade like in the European markets, maybe you're getting some movement. Or is this just halted? Is this halted? Oh, it's halted. That's why. Why would Nvidia invest $1 billion into Nokia? Come on, just play out already. Goodness gracious. ANET. ANET. Dom, I'm not touching anything this week, probably. I closed out almost all my swings. We talked about Qualcomm a lot over the last 2 weeks. Obviously, the news yesterday, very profitable trade. I closed out everything. I'll be watching for a reentry on that. I still like Dell and ARM. Um, they kind of reset. Most of the things that I'm watching kind of need to reset up. I've closed out PanW. I still think it could go a little bit higher, breaking out new all-time highs, but here you go. Watch ES right here. NVIDIA. NVIDIA delaying product launch. Well, that'll help. All right, ES just played out, broke the low. All right, I went and trimmed a little bit more there. All right, so that played out how I wanted it to. ES played out on the move. In Q, we got a slightly lower low. I had to trim there, like right at 60 points. And now watch out for a bounce. NVIDIA had some kind of news headline there, a delayed product launch. Nokia still halted. All right, so I still can have my target down here for the rest, but I pretty much got what I wanted. No need to be greedy here. I locked in a 50-point gain and a 60-point gain. No reason for this to come back and take profit off the board here. All right, well, pretty much everything played out. I think I'm just gonna close the rest here. Yeah, no swings through tomorrow. Honestly, I want to get through the next few days. So when you look at this on the calendar, 3 mag sevens tomorrow, my largest position tomorrow. Jerome Powell ahead of this, Trump and Xi meeting overnight between these 2 days, and then Amazon, Apple, crypto stuff going on as well. It's Coin and MSTR. You've got Eli Lilly in here, Caterpillar, Boeing, MasterCard, Roblox. You've got restaurants, ServiceNow. There's so much coming. I don't need to be in swings for this. And I don't need to open up any new swings. Look at our daily, guys. I don't need to be in any swings. On or at least any swing longs after this. Gap up, gap up, gap up. I don't need to be any swing longs up here. So, all right, team. I have to run a Tesla space in about 20 minutes. Let me look at my schedule. Yeah, about 20 minutes. I have a Tesla space, and then I think we're gonna go. There's still the other space still going on Wolf Trading. I think we're all gonna be live this afternoon at 2 p.m. So a little double stream today. We'll have my stream here in the morning, and we'll we'll go back live. So just a little break here. Going into lunch hour. I mean, here's my thoughts. I'm closing out the rest of my trade. I made money this morning on a choppy day ahead of a lot of action. I still think this is possible, but I don't need to sit here and swing for the fence when I can get a couple base hits, score a run, and win the game, right? Something that those two teams couldn't do for like 10 innings straight last night, or however many it was, 11. But yeah, statistically, we shouldn't come back up here. Yeah, I mean, I think you could reshort this, but I'm good. I made my money. I had a couple trades last night. I mean, I'm up really nicely, honestly. I don't need to do anything else today. But that's still my full targets down there. All right, guys. Appreciate everyone tuning in this morning. We'll be back live this afternoon. I think there is if you go to the Wolf Trading main YouTube page, there should be a link there to set a reminder, get that notification. But yeah, I'll see you guys this afternoon. Nice to get a little winning trade this morning, though. Kind of stress free, honestly. It was a little bit slow. I had low expectations either way, so that's fine. Appreciate it. Lou, Brett, Jahan, Bitcoin, Jordan, Willie C. Nice trade, Willie C, on that ES short. That was the only clean thing I saw after already being in this. The only clean thing I saw was shorting against this 16-17 area, and trying to get this break. So even if you got in late 14, risk 4 or 5 points to try to get down to here. That's the only thing I really saw. But either way, that's I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Do they de-risk later in the day? Is this all they do? My thesis is still that we come down into this box at least. That's my thesis. So I don't know what route we take to get there. We could do this. We could do just like this. I mean, we could do this. I think we end up in this spot at some point today. I have no reason to sit and risk when I've made money and wait for that to happen. All right, guys, I'll be back on, I think, 2 p.m. Eastern, so we'll call it just over 2 hours. We'll be back live right here. Jordan, some of the crew. Who's joining us today? We have a guest coming on today. Oh, Jay Woods. Jay Woods, options trader from Wall Street, coming on this afternoon, talk some trading and stuff with us. Should be a good show. All right, Kyle, Coder, so slow, right? So slow. It was so slow. Appreciate you, Willie. KB, Outer Element, Jackson. Catch all you guys. If you guys are still around, we'll see you guys in a couple hours. Yeah. All right, team. Don't get chopped up. We'll see you guys in a couple hours. Peace.